Hello everyone, good day. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Our lesson for today is all about Introduction to Microsoft Visual Basic 6.0. I'll share now the screen. This video is actually will be good for all students who would like to learn about the introduction of Visual Basic programming. By the way, I'm teacher Mark. I'm from Cebu, Philippines. Programming language is writing instructions for a computer. There are level of programming languages. Actually, computer can only uh, understand zeros and ones. That is a machine language. And then we also have intermediate language, which is assembly language, and also high level language, which is basic, C++, and more, Java. How do computers handle the high level language? It will read and interpret the code line by line with a program called interpreter. Example, in a basic program, we can just compile and then run the program, translate the language to machine code with a program called compiler, and run the program. Example, in C++, QBasic, so on and so forth. But Visual Basic has both interpreter and a compiler. This is the history of BASIC. BASIC, by the way, is beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code. It was developed in May 1964. MS Basic 2.0 was invented last July of 1975. And then came along Basic 1.0, 1991, and Visual Basic 6.0 last July of 1998. Some of you were not born yet at this time. Why do we learn Visual Basic? Why do we need to learn it? Actually, VB or Visual Basic, it shares the same principles with other programming language. It's good when developing small and handy utility program. It is supported by Microsoft. It's powerful when integrated with Excel and Word. So you can integrate with Excel, Visual Basic Excel, and also with Word. There are 6 steps in programming. In coding, for example, the first one is problem identification. You need to identify what is the existing problem in your system. For example, sluggish payroll system or HRIS like that. And then number 2, you need to have solution design. Step 3 would be coding. You need to code the program. Then step 4 will be compiling with compiler or running with interpreter. And then you debug it. That would be step 5. And last steps would be testing. If your program is good enough for run. For step 1 and 2, problem identification and problem identification and design. Identify what needs to be solved, like make a diagrams, an equation, etc. Usually, the design analyze the problem, develop an algorithm or flowchart. That's flow charting. Like there's a beginning. If you know the basic of flow charting, there should be a beginning, a process, and output. Sometimes there's a loop in. Then step 3 would be source code. The source code here is the instructions for the computer written in Visual Basic Programming Language. In VB, source code is linked an object on the form. Designing user interface is also part of the coding. So the GUI, the user interface, if you double click that one, source code will pop up. Step 4A, compiling. Compiling converts Visual Basic source code to executable machine language. Instructions, the processors can only understand ones and zeros. So once you compile, it will create an XC file. XC means here executable file. The advantages of compiling is fast and small. The disadvantages is debugging is inconvenient. So when there's error, you need to have a lot of patience to understand what's wrong with your program. Step, step 4, interpreting. Interpreting reads and runs one line of code in each time. You can find grammar errors in this stage. The advantage, good for debugging, interpreter is easy to program. The disadvantage of interpreting is slow, sometimes it's slow. So this is where you interpret and compile in VB. You just click run, then click start, start with full compile. Either you go to start or start with full compile. There's a shortcut also. You can all in your keyboard, in your laptop, you can automatically press F5 or Control F5 if you want to have a shortcut. This is actually the environment of Visual Basic. Here is the toolbox, also the forms. Number 5, debugging. It's removing the functional errors from your program. So you need to debug programs when you run the program and it's not successful. Running tells you where there are errors. So automatically the program will pop up what's wrong. You go back to the source code and fix errors. Save and rerun. Repeat until errors are gone and your program is successful. Testing and running. Try to run the program by pressing the start button. If it starts running, enter the answers or click the button to test it. So it's up to your program. Test your program with boundary and special cases. So Visual Basic Programming is a language that allows you to program in a Windows environment. You actually create a form with several objects. Set the properties of objects. You write event handler to respond to users' input. This is your project. And then you can create forms, form 1, form 2, and form 3. Form 1 could be text, button, picture, and box. Then form 2 is button, text box, and form 3 could be the same with form 2 or a little different. Let's define things. Form contains the main program. Controls are user interface elements such as text boxes and commands in the form. Form and controls are referred to as objects. Again, forms and controls are referred to as objects. Objects have properties, features you can change. And then we'll go to forms and Visual Basic. You can create a form that is your graphical user interface, has places to input values, has buttons to click, has other user interface element, example menu and scroll bar. Objects in Visual Basic. Everything in Visual Basic is object, forms, and buttons. There are 3 elements of objects. One is properties. Another one is methods. And then last is event handlers. When you say properties, examples are size and caption. The methods could be print, and also the event handler are either it's command click or button click, whatever is that. For example, the object is the dog. In the properties of a dog, it has a height, weight, color. Emotion could be friendly or hostile. And the methods of the dog are barking, biting, wagging, and singing. Dogs can sing too. And then we also have event handlers. Owner coming in, so the actions of the dog could be wagging, singing, emotions are friendly. When intruders coming in, the actions of or the event handlers could be barking, biting, and the emotion of the dog would be hostile. Let's move on to the important controls. For example, text boxes, area where you enter text. These are part of the control box. Common buttons, you click on them to do something like you push me now, and then you do will appear. Then picture boxes, output your results. Text boxes, the properties is the name of the objects, the text, the alignment, your text could be in the center, left, right, and the middle. And the appearance also, you can change the appearance, the background color, the border style, the font, and the font color. In command button, you can change the name, back color, style, and also the caption. Picture boxes, you can edit the name and picture, and also methods. Yeah, it's print. So this is our forms, the command button, the text box, the picture box, and the label. Design time and runtime. When you design, you can use the property window to set the property of certain object. When you run the program, you can only use code to change the property of that object. Just a bunch of objects. Question. Now that you have a bunch of objects, how do you make them react to your command? The answer is sub-procedures. Sub-procedures are instructions. Sub-procedures go with events like clicking a button. So when you have the whole program, there is sub-programs in each the main program you create. So like this, how to test the program works. So when you click say hello, this is your input. Then when you click say hello, the output is hello now. So this is an example how the test program works. For example, the user will dispatch message block. So text box, button, picture box, you have got click. Then for text box, property methods and event handler are included. For button, properties, methods, event handler. Also same with picture box, properties, methods, and event handler. One program to change on an event. Events, either you have to mouse down or mouse up or click. So there's a need to create sub-procedures. Sub-procedures handles event and changes properties of an object. For example, in a sub-procedure, two objects like text1 and command1. So sub-procedure, this is the usual code in Visual Basic. You type, you code private sub command1 underscore click quantity close and open quantity. Text1 that font size equals 18, then end sub. When command 1 is clicked, the font size properties text1 is changed to 18. So this is the output of the program. Private sub command but click and text1 that font size is equal to 18. Text1 back color is equal to this BB blue. Command 1 caption is equal to get some now and some. So that's it for today. In the next video, I will have a demo on how to open and run a Visual Basic program to create simple program in Visual Basic. For now, thank you for listening and see you later. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit that notification bell. Bye-bye. Subscribe my channel now.